back to Dixie Alley by the Center. My name is Caleb Crick. Today is Friday, October 24th, 2025, and I've got a lot of updates for you today, especially concerning Tropical Storm Melissa that is now starting to strengthen in the Caribbean Sea and will continue to do so as we go throughout the next couple of days, likely causing catastrophic impacts with some major flooding and some hurricane force winds across many of the islands, including parts of Haiti, Jamaica, and then eventually Cuba and parts of the Bahamas. I will also be talking about our severe weather threat as we go throughout the next few days. We're having a big low pressure system that will be moving through the area that will cause some scattered strong to severe thunderstorms, mainly along the Gulf Coast and parts of Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and southern Florida as we go into this weekend and into the early beginning of next week. That will also drop the temperatures into some very frigid levels for this time of year. All this and more included in this video, so let's get right into it. Here's a look at our view from satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Melissa right now. And earlier this morning, it was very hard to depict where the center of circulation with this storm was because it was so disorganized with some of that shear that we had left over. But now, as you can see, it is starting on its strengthening process and is starting to develop more of a, visible circulation. You can see this is Tropical Storm Melissa right now. You can definitely see that rotation now with this system as it's moving very, very slowly off to the north. At one point today, this Tropical Storm Melissa was stationary, which doesn't normally happen with tropical systems like that, but it was not moving anywhere. If it was moving anywhere less than 1 mile per hour, very, very, very slowly. But now we're starting to see this really ramp up. Very, very high clouds. This is a very, very healthy system and will likely continue to strengthen with the very favorable environment that we have as this eventually curves off to the west and moves just south of Jamaica. We do believe that this will curve now. It is showing up on most of the models now, which will be a very catastrophic situation to the whole island of Jamaica. I do believe this will be a very devastating situation if this plays out like most of the models are showing, which definitely looks like it is going to happen now. If this moves just to the south, albeit moving very, very slowly because of those systems to the north trying to pull it away, those will eventually win out, and this will very slowly curve around. The emphasis word is slowly. This is going to be sitting here for 2 or 3 days, not really moving much, and causing devastating flooding, possibly 1, 2, 3 feet of rain, which is an absolute ton of rain. This will cause major problems, and especially with the hurricane force winds, can't forget about that. Another area that is going to be seeing major impacts from this system is going to be Jamaica and parts of the Dominican Republic. This won't, like I said, this won't be making landfall in this area. But for days upon days, we've been seeing the system sit here and throw up rain into this area, and just constant heavy rainfall has led to flash flooding and some mudslides in this very poorly built area, and is already leading to some problems. We already have many injuries and already a report of a death in this area, and that will likely go up, unfortunately. The catastrophic impacts will just increase from here as the system gets closer to the area and causes more heavy rainfall, likely even up to a foot or two more rainfall, which is definitely not what these areas need right now. Here's a look at the cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center, and as you can see, them along with everyone else is expecting this to continue on this very slow trend, barely moving a day. This could, as much as a day, this could move only 25 miles or so, which isn't really that much at all. Maybe a little bit more than that, but the main depiction is that this is going to continue off to the north, maybe for the next 24 hours or so, and then slowly curve off to the west and move just south of the island of Jamaica, causing major flooding, potentially 1, 2, maybe even as much as 3 feet of rain. That's not inches, feet, which is 12 inches. 12 inches is 1 foot, and then, add that on as much as you want. That's a lot of rainfall for this area. That's more than this area usually sees in 6 months, and they're going to be seeing in a matter of couple days, which is going to be very devastating. If this plays out like we're thinking, the only good thing, the only good way this could play out is if this system was farther off to the south and if it moved farther off to the west before curving and potentially not causing landfall on Jamaica. But right now, the main depiction is this is going to become a very strong hurricane. We're already starting to see it intensify. Earlier, this was 45 mile per hour, or had 45 mile per hour sustained winds. Now it's at 60 miles per hour, and definitely intensifying very quickly. You can see with those high clouds, this is a very, very healthy system and in a very healthy environment for this to grow off of. and it's just looking like it's just going to continue to intensify, possibly Category 3, Category 4, maybe even Category 5 status. And then over here in parts of southern Haiti, we are going to possibly see some of those tropical storm force winds as this moves close by. But the main threat is going to be that flooding. A lot of heavy rain is going to, those outer bands are going to be flung up into parts of southern Haiti, causing, especially with all the mountainous region here, going to cause landslides, just constant runoff, which is going to lead to some devastating flooding. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the fatality number continue to go up over the next few days, and also in parts of Jamaica. One thing, though, that we are very thankful for here in the United States is that this system is not going to cause major impacts to us. This is likely going to be pulled away by one of those fronts because of that very active weather pattern that we are in. That is our saving grace. Those constant storm fronts that are going to be moving offshore are likely to pull the system away. You can see this system is going to continue to strengthen over the next few days, moving very, very slowly. The European model has this rapidly intensifying into potentially a major hurricane as we go into the day on Monday, the beginning of next week. This could be a very powerful hurricane just to the south of Jamaica, likely causing some damaging wind gusts and some very heavy rainfall continuing over the area over continuous days. This is going to be this rainfall isn't going to let up for very long periods. It's going to be constant heavy rainfall that is going to lead to some prominent flash flooding, and this is going to slow down even more as we go later into the beginning of next week, as one of our low pressure systems that moves off the coast of the United States is likely to pull the system away and likely pull it quickly away and not cause any problems to the United States, besides possibly some rough seas and maybe, just maybe, some outer bands to parts of southern Florida. Not really expecting many impacts, which is very good. Once again, like I said, our active weather pattern is our saving grace, though we do expect this to curve up and potentially make landfall once again in Cuba, causing once again even some more major impacts in parts of Cuba as this moves away from Jamaica. Many of these islands are going to be feeling this, and then eventually it's going to be going through the Bahamas, causing some even more problems to some more islands. But here's an interesting scenario. The European model is having this really quickly be picked up by a low-pressure system that sits up there in the northeast and potentially turns into a nor'easter. You can't see on this model because it moves off of the view here. But some of the models are trying to show this link up with a low-pressure system and congeal into sort of a nor'easter. That's the system thing that we saw earlier in the year that rode up the East Coast and caused some problems, or not earlier in the year, earlier in the month, last month, we saw a system similar to this that moved up the East Coast to cause some very heavy rainfall and some very gusty winds that caused some problems along the banks of North Carolina with some of that beach erosion. That definitely is a possibility, although not very likely at this moment, just because it's so far out there in the future. But because we're in that La Nina weather pattern, it definitely supports that we will continue to see some of those nor'easters, which some very strong East Coast storms as we go down the road, potentially even causing some major snowstorms and possibly even blizzards in the near future. And even though we aren't going to be dealing with a hurricane landfall in the United States or in the Dixie Alley, we are going to be dealing with some severe weather. This is the day 2 severe weather outlook by the Storm Prediction Center. As we go into tomorrow, we do expect a big storm front to be moving through the area, continuing from the morning round of thunderstorms, and that will push through. But that's not the main line of storms. We will have some potential strong to severe storms through the morning hours. But later in the afternoon, if we see enough stabilization occur, we could see a secondary line of thunderstorms push through, potentially even stronger than the morning line of thunderstorms. That could even cause the threat for some isolated supercells that could cause a isolated tornado threat. Here's a look at our day 2 tornado threat from the Storm Prediction Center. If I can get that to stay on there, we have a 5% risk of tornadoes as we go into the day for parts of eastern Texas and parts of central and southern Louisiana, for a couple of isolated supercells that could develop ahead of this main line of thunderstorms. This will be late afternoon into the early evening hours. Not a large window for development of tornadoes, but we definitely could see the potential for tornadoes, and that really is increasing with every model that we're seeing. Yes, we will have a significant damaging line of winds that with this system, but we definitely will see the potential for some tornadoes as we go into the day on Saturday, and I'll definitely be watching that for you. Definitely be continuing to give you updates. I'll post you guys with an update tomorrow, a video early in the morning, just to give you a heads up on what I'm seeing, more of an update on the timing and track of these severe thunderstorms as we go into the day, because there definitely is the potential for us to see some rotating supercells, potentially even a higher chance for tornadoes today than tomorrow, but that's not even the end of it. As we go into the day on Sunday, we have another marginal risk of severe weather, mainly for damaging winds, but we will have another refiring of showers and thunderstorms. Luckily, destabilization will not be as strong down here, which will limit production of supercell thunderstorms. So we aren't expected to see any major tornado threat with this. But we could definitely see a broken line of thunderstorms producing some level of wind damage throughout the area as we go into the day. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a slight risk down here if destabilization is looking likely. But the farther you go out to the north, it's just going to be a sloppy rainmaker, just a sloppy mess. Because of the lack of instability, the farther you go out to the north. I'm not expecting, once again, any tornado outbreak, any severe weather outbreak by any sort, but I am continuing to watch, as we will have multiple rounds of potential severe thunderstorms as we go into the days ahead. Here's a look at what the future radar could look like as we go throughout the next day or two across the Dixie Alley. You can see we will have an ongoing line of thunderstorms, a strong line of thunderstorms, potentially severe line of thunderstorms, moving through parts of northern and central Texas as we go into the late evening, overnight, and early morning hours. But as we go later into the morning, we will likely see this continue to move off to the east, likely losing intensity a little bit. But parts of far western Louisiana, far southwestern Louisiana could definitely see some strong wind gusts, 40, 50, 60 miles per hour, with some of the strongest thunderstorms as we go into the early morning hours. This is not the main line that I am looking at for the highest potential for severe thunderstorms, but we will definitely see some strong thunderstorms moving through the area. These will likely lose steam as we go into the later morning, but the main area, or the main main time of the day that has my attention is the afternoon, as we will likely see a re-clearing ahead of the main line, the main cold front, that will lead to some rapid destabilization, and we could definitely see a refiring of showers and thunderstorms along that line, potentially causing some even more problems. If we get enough destabilization in the atmosphere, we could definitely see some of these storms really exploding and potentially cause a potential supercell threat and even a tornado threat with some of the stronger supercells later. You can see this one that this model is painting just offshore of Louisiana. These could definitely rotate enough to cause some problems of their own. Now, this is more of a conservative model, not showing as strong of thunderstorms, but regardless of if we have tornadoes or not, we will definitely see a strong line of thunderstorms that will push through parts of eastern Louisiana and Mississippi as we go into the evening and the overnight hours. That will definitely cause some problems with some damaging wind gusts. You can see this line will continue into the late evening and overnight hours with some continued damaging wind gusts and some potential hail, possibly even a QLCS tornado threat, which is just some rotation in the line of thunderstorms that could lead to a quick spin up or two. But eventually, as we go later into the night, this will start to lose steam. It will still cause some heavy rainfall to parts of eastern Mississippi and parts of Alabama and parts of Florida as we go into the day on Sunday, but not expecting a widespread severe weather threat on that day. And once again, with that being said, that is all the weather info I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe for more video updates like this one. I'll continue to keep you posted on the severe weather event as it unfolds tomorrow, likely with a video tomorrow morning. So make sure you click the bell icon and turn on notifications so that you are notified when I post that video, so that you are prepared for tomorrow's severe weather threat, especially if you live along the coast of Louisiana and parts of Mississippi. I definitely think we could see a strong line of thunderstorms move through the area, causing some potential wind damage and potentially even some supercells with the threat of their own for some spin-up tornadoes. So make sure that you have multiple ways to receive warnings as we go into the day tomorrow. Also, I'll continue to track Tropical Storm Melissa as it continues to intensify, looking like a worst-case scenario for some of the islands. But luckily, we get to look at this from a distance, and it will not cause any problems to the United States as of this moment. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. My winter forecast video will be coming out soon, so don't miss it.